Hey guys, it's Lemming Rush. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game that I played in my T54 on Sacred Valley. So this is on the EU server, of course. As you can see, I've got 223 ping or so. It normally says around 170, but nonetheless, this is on the EU server. We're on Sacred Valley, and we're middle tiered in this tier 10 game. So a couple tier 8s to shoot at and 3 tier 10s to shoot at. So what I like to do when I'm approaching Sacred Valley on this map is I've found that I get a lot more success in the north than I do the south. The south just doesn't work out for me, and I think the main reason for that is it's very hard to fight there because there's not a whole lot of hold down opportunities. And then also if you fail, like if you lose the south, it's very hard to actually run away because there's a big fuck off open field that you have to run away through. So for this game, I'm taking my tank to the north. This is where the heavy tanks brawl, and you can see immediately I'm taking criticism from chat there. So whatever, it's just a fact of life when you're playing this game. So what I like to do in this location, because I'm in a quick tank, I'm in a T54, I really like to be aggressive. So what it means is, like, I know that I'm going to be fighting heavies when I come to this flank, so I try to hold corners and get 1 or 2 free shots on enemies as they're driving into position. You're going to see that's exactly what I'm positioning myself to do right here. I'm going to wait for some unsuspecting heavy tank to drive around this corner, put a shot into him, back off before he can shoot me, and then kind of, repeat the process. But the astute among you will notice that that's not happening. And the reason that's not happening is because we've got this Kronvan here who's playing extremely aggressively. Now, this isn't a criticism of him, but normally this is a very, very strong position. And the way it works is, well, I have had more success when I'm using this position. If I let enemies commit to this area, then you drive up this ramp and shoot them in the rear. The Kronvan, on the other hand, isn't doing that. And so his play is kind of making mine not work, which is fine. He's getting a lot of damage out of it. You can see he's suppressed the enemy, but it does kind of put me into this tricky situation where I have to kind of push into a large number of tanks in a position where I'm not really comfortable pushing into them. So I decide I take a tentative poke at the T10. He immediately notices me. He immediately shoots back. And I've noticed that this Kronvan has fallen back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to his position because the enemy hasn't come up. They're a bit scared of an auto-loading tier 10 heavy for good reason. And again, the astute of you will notice that we're down 5 tanks at this point in time. So I'm trying to make this play. I want to try to kill these tanks in the south. I see a lot of them and I see 2 of us. So that's not very promising. Immediately, I take 2 hits the second I try to make a play. One from an M41 and the other from the Emil. Wait, what? I don't know which Emil that was from because apparently it did 255. But, I got shot at basically. So I have to be a bit cautious with my aggression here. All the while, I want to be putting out shots because, if we're not doing this, it's conceivable to be a loss. Now, the game has obviously come back. We've got a lot of shots and whatnot, but the problem here is if you look at the map, we're probably going to lose the south. So what I'm seeing when I'm playing this game, I'm pushing into a crossfire, right? So we've got some heavies right here. They're going to try to put pressure on this girl, the low, or whatever they're putting pressure on, and we're probably going to lose the south. So I take a shot at the girl. He stops, get lucky, that misses. But eventually what's going to happen is this group down here, they're going to drive up all the way around the map and flank us. So the way I see it is we want to kill as many of these 3 tanks in front of us as quickly as possible. It has helped significantly that the girl has basically decided to stop helping them. But we want to kill them before the south comes around. You can see their logical path of progression is onto our cap. And then if they decide not to cap out, that's not going to work. So again, we're down 6 tanks. That just seems to be the way the game works. A tree fell over, so I put a shot into the grill. He's left on 1 HP. And now we're fighting knowing this situation is about to collapse, in on itself because of the inevitable flank that's going to happen. Like, they're going to kill the Yudes, they're going to kill the 2 and 5B, and then the Kronvan and us are going to be next. So at this point in time, I've read the situation. I know what's going to happen. What I like to do often, this is kind of what I used to try to do a lot more aggressively, is I would try to push into this side. So here what you can see is there's a 1-shot T10, a 1-shot grill. I forget how much HP this low is on here or whatever, but conceivably he's easy to kill. I'm not going to push into them, even though that's what I would use to do. The decision here I make is to fall back and defend the flank. Now, why do I do this? Because pushing into a grill at T10 and a low basically requires that I get shot at least twice, and if I'm unlucky, 3. So I know this Batshot's going to be behind us. He's probably alone because he's way faster than the majority of the enemy. Like, he's the fastest tank on the enemy team, and so I'm just going to try to put shots into him as he drives into us. You can see the brilliant SU-101 who's like dead is talking shit. That's the way it is. The Batshot YOLO's around the corner. I track him, and that puts him in this lovely position where I'm able to perma-track him and finish him off, you know, immediately after the SU-101 was talking shit. So as far as I'm concerned, that's justice. So we're finishing off this Batshot. The threat after this point in time is going to be the IS-7 and the Super Pershing and whatever other tanks the enemy has. The Kron Von really helps out. He gets the kill on the SU-101. That frees me to try to put a shot into the Bulldog. I get a shot, and, you know, he's going to try to put a shot into me. And now and he pens my turret. He gets my commander. And now we're in this situation where it's like very soon there's going to be a 6v2. And, you know, your odds of winning a 6v2 aren't very good. So, again, you can see I was about to make a play where I went to try to clear the flank. There was a one-shot M4190 GF. When you're in a situation like this, it's very tempting to chase after the kills, because what you want to do is you want to eliminate the number of guns that are going to be shooting at you. But it's like, I can't go chasing a Bulldog. You know, that's not going to work, especially when the timing sort of implies the tanks are going to be on their way. And as you can see, there's an IS-7 and a Scorpion G who are pushing into us. So, currently, what I have to do is I have to let this Kron Von, who's a one-shot for the IS-7, deal with that IS-7. The hope is that the IS-7 low rolls or bounces or whatever. I've got a full HP Scorpion on my hands, and I've also got a M4190 GF who's liable to be coming around this corner anytime soon. We know where the grill is. The T-26E4 is slower than an IS-7 by a significant margin, and so he's probably like late to the fight or whatever. So we want to kill these guys ideally as quickly as possible before the grill and the T-26E4 get into the fight. So that's what we're going to be working on doing. I'm going to put a shot into the Scorpion. He's driving into me, and you can see the way I timed the shot was such that he didn't have the gun depression to shoot me. So I did that. I managed to get one shot into him for free. I'm starting to reload. And now you'll notice this low is coming to flank me. Now he isn't looking at me, but that doesn't really matter. Like, for all I care, he's YOLOing the Kron Von, but in my mind, I don't really want a low shooting at the rear of me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push into the Scorpion. That eliminates the low from the fight. It basically makes him useless, and now I only have to fight this Scorpion G, so I'm going to go for the track, try to save my hit points here, and you'll notice the low isn't looking at me, so I can just kind of finish this Scorpion G off before I reload. And now this Kron Von needs help, so I'm going to drive into him and try to finish off this low before he dies. Now immediately I notice the M4190 GF. He misses his shot on me, which is pretty damn fortunate, and I'm able to pick up the kill right there. So this is the point in time where lag starts to hit me. You'll notice my ping is 289. This is something I normally don't have to deal with. If you watched my stream during this time, I literally had no control over my tank. All I was able to do was sort of reverse and just get into safety and kind of weather out the lag. So that's what I'm doing. I just want to stay safe here. I can't control my tank. I've got 400 ping, 500 ping, tons of packet loss. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait, and I'm going to hope the intimidation of the Kron Von kind of keeps them at base so I can, you know, get my ping back to the good 150 that it is. So that's what's happened. We've kind of waited. I'm just making sure that it's good before I try to make any sort of plays. So it spiked up to 250. But by this point in time, it's kind of been stable at 160. So I kind of say, okay, maybe I'll try to make a play. And that's what I'm going to do when I feel comfortable. I'm playing it off of the Kron Von. And now I'm going to try to drive into them. And there's the grill. So you'll notice the way that I pushed into the grill, it was like I was kind of flustered by the ping, but the way I did that was I assumed that the Super Pershing was on this corner. I really had no clue where the grill was. It was very reasonable to expect for the grill to be there, but because my mind was on my 400 millisecond ping, you know, plus the packet loss, I wasn't really ready for it. I was just ready for a tank on that corner. So the way I did this, most people would go about clearing this angle by driving up this ramp, and then they would die to the grill or whatever. So you'll notice the way my tank is angled, it's such that I don't have to deal with the gun depression, you know, that basically the way that I put that shot into the Scorpion, I could shoot at anyone who's camping this corner immediately, and I was also able to back off from it. So that's kind of how I did that. I would recommend, you know, doing that in the future, especially when you're carrying and you're a one-shot. You don't want to take any risks whatsoever. So I made sure that I could kill the grill. Now we're making sure I can kind of flank this Super Pershing here. I miss a shot right here. It goes into the dirt, and I'm kind of flanking him with the Kron Von. Now, if you're in a situation like this where you've got this Kron Von who's really a 3-shot to this Super Pershing, let the Kron Von take the hits. You're just there to distract the Super Pershing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not damage hungry or whatever, and then when this Super Pershing shoots and looks away, I start to push into him, and that's where I pick up my 5th kill. So yeah, it was really a pleasure carrying with this Kron Von. I thought I would you know, show this because it's kind of informative. It shows me dealing with lag. It shows me dealing with, you know, a 6v whatever type of situation. You know, they were up 6 tanks, maybe 5 twice. So yeah, let's go take a look at the end plates and we'll see how it went. Alrighty, so as you can see, that was a master badge, first class, high caliber, bunch of medals. I still don't know what they are. I did 4766 damage. The Kronvon, who I was carrying with, did 4400, so basically 10k combined, and then we also had 10 kills combined. I'd love to point out the performance of the shit talker, but I won't. I ended up shooting 25 shots. I lost a lot of credits because it's the T54 and I'm a stat padding unicum or whatever, so you know, such is the T54 for me. But hopefully this video is informative and maybe you can apply it to your games. So yeah, I'll call it with that. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.